Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another course review, and today talking about the Runenation Low-Vis pistol course. Ian from Runenation, he's been coming out and teaching classes annually up in Northern Idaho since I think like 2019, and it's been cool seeing kind of different course curriculum come through, and this Low-Vis one kind of on the premise as come as you are. So no external holsters or anything like that. Pretty much everything drawn from concealment. Same with mags, things along those lines. And turned out to be a pretty cool course. Initially started setting up, and since I have a ton of steel from the Coast to Coast tour, a bunch of Thor targets, we went out, got those set up, and then I also fortunately left over a bunch of paint from steel target paint, I guess it is. Stuff is amazing. I think one can pretty much rehabbed all the targets for both days, Low-Vis pistol and Low-Vis carbine. But basically got the range set up, and Ian started in with a brief and went from there.
And then kind of the flow of the day, how that'll work. Some of you know me, some of you don't. For those of you who don't, my name's Ian Strimbeck. I'm the owner and founder of Runenation. Spent some time in the Marine Corps from 2006.
Like all of Ian's classes, this one started with a cold start. This one a little more involved than the usual like paper static cold start. Definitely involving some movement, and then some low probability shots at the end, which were pass or fail. For my own part, didn't quite work out how I wanted, but get what you get. After everyone ran through the cold start, Ian got started basically going over barricade work. And with that, different shooting positions and different barricades that we had set up. Then it turned into more or less a round robin, so people got to essentially work through the different barricades and try all the different shooting positions. Start to get kind of familiar with them and just work through all of them. Another thing Ian ended up going over was shooting from the prone. So we like to think we're going to stay on our feet, but oftentimes fights maybe start standing and end up on the ground. So if that happens, and if you have to go to guns, how do we do that? So basically kind of, hey, points of performance with respect to falling, tuck your chin, things like that. And then everyone safely get their gun out. Well, everyone. Basically 2 people at a time, and work through falling down safely, and then engaging targets from those different kind of unconventional prone positions. And with that, fighting up through other positions till finally you get back to your feet and ultimately get behind a barricade. And then the same thing was demonstrated, and then we obviously had a chance to perform it, basically falling in the other direction. taking a break from the heat since probably over 100 degrees in the sun, Ian ended up kind of walking through equipment selection. Things, honestly, a lot of people maybe don't give too much thought to, whether it's your actual belt itself that needs to hold your gun, holster, or different ways to, again, thinking low profile, low visibility, carry spare magazines. Another concept that was introduced was a non-shooter. Not as far as, hey, this is a shoot, this is a no shoot, but how do we navigate, move, and manipulate, not in a negative way, like a loved one. So whether it's a spouse or a child, someone who doesn't have a gun and isn't helping us in the fight, but how do we actually move that person so we can keep them safe and then be able to draw out and engage targets. And after going through that, Ian, of course, demonstrated, and then we got to rep it out. To include incorporating blood sweeps. Then continuing to add layers of complexity, tourniquets. So how and when to use them, and armed with that knowledge, back out to the range. Again, moving our non-shooter, and then this time getting a rep in, actually applying a tourniquet.
1, 2, 3.
Then we gotta kind of put it all together in a culmination drill. Largely working all those skills we had worked throughout the day, different barricades, uses of cover, and put it all together and shoot through it. Ian then had a block on retention shooting, which I think is incredibly valuable. It's one of those where a lot of people practice drawing out, engaging at distance. There is value to that. But the other side is what happens when that confrontation happens within one arm's distance. And so how do we get a gun out? How do we actually engage and get good hits safely at those distances? So basically just kind of walking through it step by step and then slowly putting it together quicker and working through retention shooting. And after getting those close shots, backed it up to 40 yards for, I believe it's the Dickin drill. the dude that smoked that active shooter in that mall, like 40 yards away. So 15 seconds, I guess, to draw out, fire 10 rounds, need 8 to 10 hits, ideally more than that. I think we were going for basically BC on the IPSC, and yeah, some tough shots, especially other strong side. I think I ended up dropping one off the cardboard wholesale, but the rest of them are somewhere on there. And we spent a little bit of time basically working on cadence. So essentially a bill drill at, I think, 5, 15, and 30. And working through those different yard lines. And again, not necessarily for time so much as figuring out your cadence while maintaining an accuracy standard. And working those different yard lines, getting ideally some good hits. Then we revisited that dick and drill one more time, again back at the 40. For my own part, I think one of my rounds blasted through my upright, one of my last rounds, and my target went down to the ground. I sent one more, not sure if it made it or not, but again, ended up dropping one round off my cardboard. That right there wrapped up Low-Vis pistol. Really cool class, standalone, but synergistic to Low-Vis carbine, usually taught the next day. Overall, awesome class. I really appreciate it being kind of grounded in reality. So some courses you'll go to, you'll have like your war belt, exposed holster, all of that, which is cool. Good opportunity to work on fundamentals, things like that, mechanics. But when it comes to like an applicable side, how many people carry like that? You probably carry concealed. And so to be able to get good reps, drawing out from concealed, and again, use of cover, just different unconventional shooting positions, I think there's a lot of value there. Overall, really solid class. There'll be links down below. You can check out pretty much all of Ian's courses over there. And yeah, lastly, if you appreciate my content and want to support it, greatly appreciate it, whether it's liking and sharing videos or supporting me directly through Patreon. Little as $1 a month gets you early access to videos, some exclusive stuff, and questions answered. If you have questions for me, happy to answer them over there on Patreon, where we have an active Discord. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadge.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.